Do you have a question?
No, I just felt like it was my turn to be stupid and try a ratty argument against you.
Yeah, feel free.
Have fun. Go for it.
Okay. So I know you're aware of the debate I had with Bats, and I wanted to talk to you about the Kushina speed scaling,
Yeah.
where she was able to outspeed Minato to get to Naruto, and how that
Well,
would prove that she would be faster than Minato.
how that would prove that how that would improve? Well,
He's talking about the nine
No,
tails impale moment and all that.
yeah.
Like
So
where Kushina being there, blah blah.
yeah, that panel. If you look at it with outside looking in blindly without any awareness of their dichotomy, you could maybe make the argument. But the rest, of the empirical evidence provided for their sort of relationship blatantly suggests who's superior. Minato is her knight in shining armor throughout their lifetime. And I don't think that one instance where Minato already had battle and had to use the Reaper Seals enough to prove that he's inferior in speed to Kushina. It would be a tough case to make. If you're going against someone that is very unaware of how their dichotomy is presented in the narrative, maybe you could win that.
Yeah.
And if I didn't know anything about Naruto and that's the only thing I see, I would say, well, it does seem like Kushina got there first. But clearly there's context to how that came to be.
Well, wasn't it? Didn't you say, Jay, like from what you actually see on panel, that actually Minato technically got there first?
That was my argument as well. Because
Confusion there,
he's behind her, so that means the person that's first penetrated is the one that got there first.
Yeah.
So Kushina was actually not the first one to reach
She
there.
actually, because my argument isn't contentious on the fact that they got hit, it's on the fact that their target thing they were trying to get to was Naruto. She gets to Naruto before Minato does, so she just outspeeds him. As far as the battle thing, she herself had just had the entire nine tails ripped out of her. Half alone was enough to like instantly kill Naruto, so she should be nerfed to the point where like she can't even move, and that's on top of having just given birth. So she should be like completely immobile.
Yeah, well, they both at that point I would say they both received a mental amp. Kushina is full Uzumaki. The way that they were ripped out was a little different as well, so we can't completely say that the way that the tailed beast was ripped out was equivalent. I think the way Naruto's was ripped out was more harsh in comparison to Kushina's, which is why he was nearly almost immediately dead from it. So there's certainly different variables in each instance. It's not equivalent how they were ripped out either, but there's just less of a case for Kushina. Is there some sort of arbitrary level of reliability you could establish that Kushina's faster? Yeah, but I think it's very slight. And someone that has awareness of Naruto verse at all would combat it with enough empirical evidence to suggest that she's
I
not.
would actually argue that Kushina's was probably worse than Naruto's. Because Naruto, like I said, he only had half the power ripped out of him because he only got half. But he also didn't have a seal on. And as we see with Naruto when he was training with Jiraiya, when a seal is removed or broken, it hurts the person physically. So Kushina would have just taken that extra damage on top of already having much more chakra ripped out of her.
Yeah, but either way, if the argument is that she's faster, there's not enough empirically for that. There's too much speculation that you're utilizing to make that case. Well, I have an abundance of empirical evidence to suggest the antithesis of your claim. So it comes down to that, despite the speculation battle that we could have on that. I think that's not enough. That's not sufficient evidence to suggest she's faster than Minato. And again, he's the one that reached that reached the attack first anyway. So.
Well, their target wasn't the attack. The attack just happened to hit them because it was aiming for Naruto. Their goal was to
it's
stop
displayed
it
who's there first. The one that's hit first is the one that got there first, Minato.
No, it would have been Kushina because, again, their target was to get to Naruto. So whoever's closer to Naruto would have been there first.
Yeah, but despite that, the very insignificant distance is, again, not enough to prove that Kushina's faster. And in fact, the very fact that she...
Great distance. It's like double.
It's insignificant distance that they were to Naruto. It wasn't like Kushina was much, much farther away.
He was like double the distance from Minato.
Yeah, but I think the distance is insignificant. It's not much of a difference to suggest that Kushina's faster.
Double the distance is insignificant?
No, the difference in distance, like to where Naruto was to get in front of that attack, is insignificant. It's not like Kushina was like miles away, while Minato was already pretty close to stop Kurama from reaching Naruto. That wasn't the case at all.
You're basically saying like it's within a similar ballpark or distance where it's
Yeah.
like a massive leap in between.
And either way, Minato was
Yeah,
there
no,
first. So
No, I figured that out. No, Kushina was there first, but what I'm saying is Minato was like half the distance already to what Kushina was. So regardless of how close they were to that, Kushina still had to like travel like twice the distance. So she yelled
that
gets to Naruto
quantification,
first.
that quantification is difficult to establish. But regardless, the distance is insignificant anyway. If you're 2 inches
I don't
away
think
and
it is. But
if
fair.
I'm 2 inches away and you're an inch away, the fact that I have to travel twice the distance is insignificant. So
Well, I mean, that would be fair if we get there at the exact same time, but there's reasons to believe Kushina gets there first.
I
And
don't
it's
think
not like
so. If
a
Minato's
whole
penetrated
inch, it's like a
first, I
matter
don't
of
think
like
so.
about 4 feet.
She would have been
Like
penetrated
Minato's
first.
like 4 feet, while Kushina's like 8 feet.
Again, insignificant.
Obviously,
distance.
I don't have exact numbers on that, but
It's insignificant regardless. The empirical evidence for Minato being faster is just more abundantly clear, more abundantly available.
would you mind if I ask what your evidence would be for that?
The very fact that when she's full power and he's full power, he's constantly saving her. The very fact that when Obito was threatening the village, the individual that was most capable is the one that faced him, which was Minato. If you're suggesting that Kushina's faster, even in that state, why wouldn't she be the one to battle him? There's just so many pieces of empirical evidence. I'm not really
Do
using
we ever
speculative.
see them both power at the same time?
We could assume that she's at full power if she's not, giving birth and getting the nine tails ripped out of her. She's not a combatant. She's just the wife of the Hokage. That's all.
I don't think we ever There's a movie, but I don't think we ever see her at that position.
Yeah,
And we
because
do know that Obito specifically waits for her to give birth to try to take the nine tails.
The reason
We
for
can
that is
argue that he
because
considers her
that's
a
when the
threat.
seal's the weakest. That doesn't necessarily mean it's because she's stronger. It just means the seal's at the weakest during that time.
So it's
doesn't
easy
I mean,
for
her
her
yeah,
to
but he
superior.
can rip out his seals.
So none of that suggests that she's superior to Minato.
Or Obito. Shit.
Yeah, or Obito. Kishimoto would have made that clear. That's his intention, then he would have made that clear. I don't think a couple inches in distance away from, Naruto, and one they're getting there first and the other getting there second is enough to conclude the Kushina is superior. It's a very, very insignificant amount of evidence and a lot of speculation. So
Main initial message is just context.
Yeah.
It's context, other variables, other forms of empirical evidence.
this isn't like Itachi versus Pain. This is like a very blatant difference in power. You would need extraordinary evidence to suggest such an extraordinary claim, which there is not
Consistency, yeah.
enough for. It's called Sagan's standard, which is a razor, philosophical razor. If you have an extraordinary claim, it requires extraordinary evidence, and that small instance is not nowhere near enough to establish that premise. But
it's a good lead in order to
I'll say this: you can
to
definitely
try to
beat.
exploit.
Yeah, you can definitely beat people without exploit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I've seen you have. So you've beaten people with that.
Well, that goes my writing time. Thanks for letting me do it.
Hey, it's not a. Hey, I'll admit this: it's not a bad one at all.
No.
I think
Not at all.
that
them rat and softest power levels are over
Yeah.
9,000.
you'll be surprised how many people you could beat without exploit. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've
It's
seen
kind
you
of like
beat.
Toxic versus Pain all over again.
And I've
but
seen
if
you
anything,
beat.
this one's
You've already
actually more
beaten
better.
people with it, so it works. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's a fun little debate, though. So, did you have a question at all, or you just wanted to do that?
At the moment, not really. I do have one thing I want to ask you that's
Yeah.
not 100% Naruto related.
Oh yeah, go
I
ahead.
do at some point, if you don't mind, want to try and get a debate.
Oh,
I've been trying to get better at that.
oh, to debate? Yeah. I know that you're friends with Batman, so yeah, we could talk about that in the future. Yeah.
I'll step down. I'll let you guys finish
All right.
up.
Good.
No problem,
Good.
man.
All right. See ya. That was a good little segment,
gone.
though.